All right. Good evening or good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here for the second in the Stories from the Heart Community Language Projects from Ready to Revitalize talk series. This series of informal talks from the heart from community language champions around the world shares just a few of the really beautiful community language revitalization projects that have been initiated as part of ELP's Ready to Revitalize online course. And so today we're going to be hearing from one of the participants in the past year's Ready to Revitalize cohort, Dr. Netra Mani Rai, talking about his work to revitalize the Dumi language in Nepal. And so, without any further ado, I'm honored to hand it over to Netra.
Hello, Shiva. First of all, thank you, Anna, Amanda, and those who involved in Ready to Revitalize program through ELP team and the International Decade of Indigenous Language for this opportunity. I am Netra Mani Rai from the capital city Kathmandu of the Himalayan country, Nepal. As a community member, today in this presentation, I am willing to highlight voices of Dumi Kirat Rai community and their identity together with the issues of indigenous language and traditional knowledge, particularly from the Dumi homeland. In such an academic platform, I am so happy to share some thoughts, ideas, feelings, and outcomes about Dumi. While discussing my work to revitalize Dumi language, my native language, and how this academic work contributes in performing the promotion of the endangered Dumi language, and how this academic work contributes in promotion of such endangered language. While talking about the revitalization, I recall my past experience as the initiation of the story writing workshop in 2006. It was through the Mother Tongue Center Nepal. Let me share one picture, if possible, about this presentation. Uh, this is the first story book that I published through Mother Tongue Center Nepal in 2006. After that, I contribute from my side as the facilitator from 2006 to 13 at MTCN for the story writing workshop, which was the milestone for my Ready to Revitalize program as the pathfinder. Now, being an indigenous language activist and Vice-Chancellor of the Kirat Rai Academic Council, from our team, I'm trying my best in well-being of the minority language groups like Kirati and others throughout the nation. Serving the language communities and their organizations more than a decade as the language development specialist at the SL International Nepal in language documentation and some other issues like to carry out the socio-linguistic survey and report writing in individual languages, language documentation and revitalization, orthography development and its promotion and publishing the writing guide, the orthography booklet, dictionary making, grammar writing, curriculum design, and textbook writing in individual mother tongues, which are the key activities at the community level from my sides. As a linguist, I directly involved in the activities of working in the field of language development and counseling for language and linguistic issues in government and non-government organizations at the national and international levels. While talking about existing situation of mother tongues in Nepal, not only Dumi, all the minority language groups, there is still the impact of the conservative slogan and the practice of the old regime, that is one nation, one language. That is not other than the Nepali language, and its direct impact of long-run previous regimes, the nation is still not ready to take immediate action for the flourishing of minority languages like Dumi. Regardless of the provisions in the improvised constitution implemented in more than a decade ago in 2015, the dominant language Nepali, which belongs to the Indo-Aryan language group and is written in Devanagari script and has the status of an official language, is used as media of instruction in formal education nationwide. As a result, all the minority language communities have been oppressed linguistically and culturally. In this regard, against this sad backdrop, despite the provisions in the Constitution, they have not been effectively implemented in practices at the local, regional, and national levels. There is a rapidly growing language endangerment or language shift due to the migration, marriage between inter-language groups, and leaving ancestral homeland in search of job opportunity. Being a mother tongue speaker of endangered Dumi language, which is one of the minority language groups among 29 distinct Kirati languages, I was interested in serving my Dumi community in preservation of Dumi language and culture. Consequently, I'm honored to be a part of the Ready to Revitalize alumni representing from a minority ethnic Dumi Kirat Rai community while sharing the feelings and impression regarding the Ready to Revitalize program that held in 2025, a clear picture of the true experience of working with one of the minority language group, Dumi of Nepal. In this prestigious gathering of language activists around the globe, I feel I am telling a story which is really a life story of Dumi community. This is about an ethnic Dumi community organization and its activities, and also about a comprehensive Ready to Revitalize online course in 2025. Also response by the Dumi community and its impact in whole Dumi society. Promotion of standard writing system or writing guide in Dumi is also another impact of this Ready to Revitalize workshop. They are excited to write their experience in their mother tongue and Dumi community. And I really appreciate active participations from Dumi community in different areas. Today, I'm happy to share the fundamental background of ongoing revitalization program in Dumi language and Dumi communities in different regions. The indigenous knowledge and oral traditions in the present context, community experience as a minority ethnic group, insider and outsider challenges for the future possibilities while implementing this workshop of the revitalization. Then we try to find out also existing solutions to overcome the challenges. Language revitalization in the context of Dumi signifies, from my side, that I express is reversing decline in Dumi language, also reviving the endangerment of this endangered Dumi language, strengthening cultural identity of whole Dumi society, and it also helps in documenting oral traditions, sharing indigenous voices, preserving ethnobotanical knowledge, and engaging young generation for the promotion and utilization of their native language. In Nepal, there is multi-ethnic, multicultural, and multilingual identity with 142 ethnic groups and 124 living or existing languages. However, Nepali, that we have already mentioned, is the dominant official language. Minority languages like Dumi still remain marginalized, and indigenous language faces many challenges like shifting and endangerment towards the dominant language, Nepali. Dumi is an endangered indigenous language among 29 Kirati languages that belongs to the Tibeto-Burman branch of the Sino-Tibetan language family. The ancestral Dumi homeland lies in the fertile land of the remote hillside. It's particularly in the Rawa Valley, that is around the confluence of Rawa and Taptu rivers, northern Khotan district in eastern Nepal. According to the census 2021, there are 8,638 Dumi people, and their mother tongue is critically endangered with fewer than 1,000 fluent speakers. Among them are mostly seniors or the old people, some adults, and very few children. Dumi culture is rich in oral traditions, storytelling, traditional songs and dance. There are also some ritual dance and folk songs, like ethnobotanical knowledge and healing practices locally in Dumi community. There are also cultural connected with the ancestors, natures, forests, rivers, etc. The major challenges regarding the language preservation and revitalization include like language shift towards Nepali, migration, marriage, and urbanization, inadequate policy implementation through the government, local government policies severely impact in intergenerational language transmission. That's why the children, they are not that much fluent in their mother tongue. And also another factor, the loss of intergenerational language transmission due to the modern trend. As a linguist and language activist, and also the counselor of Dumi Kirat Rai organization, the Vice-Chancellor that for the academicians, and as a language development specialist at SL International Nepal, I have tried my best to serve mostly the minority language groups throughout the nation in the field of socio-linguistic survey and report writing, language documentation, orthography development and their promotion, dictionary making, grammar writing, curriculum development, textbook writing. Likewise, Dumi Kirat Rai organization, which was established in 1992 with the initiation of some intellectuals, people from Dumi community. This organization is actively working in language preservation, cultural preservation, community well-being, and language classes, even in village and urban areas. There are some reading materials available in Dumi, like the standard writing guide for the orthography, trilingual dictionary, Dumi Nepali English. There are two types of grammar, descriptive and pedagogical, curriculum and textbook in class 1, and there are some other reference materials in Dumi language. Now, to be honest, fortunately, participating in the Ready to Revitalize program 2025, which is online course, I could generate some ideas to conduct project in my mother tongue, Dumi, particularly focusing on its revitalization. And my project title was Bridging the Gap, How Speaking and Writing Can Shape Endangered Dumi Language. Together with the implementation of this project, my focus was that the Dumi community members can develop habits of speaking, listening, writing, and reading their mother tongue in daily life in their community, home to the local gathering. The activities included during the workshop that in Ready to Revitalize workshop, there were 3 days workshop in 3 different distinct points, regional points. The first day, there was the introduction of the workshop about Ready to Revitalize, the objective of the workshop and theme and promotion of writing guide. Writing Dumi language consistently, we introduced the writing guide for the standard writing. Likewise, in the second day, brainstorm to choose appropriate story title with the theme of the workshop and practice writing their experience in Dumi. And in the third day, finalizing or polishing their story in their true experience for the final computer entry. At all, there were altogether 25 stories collected, and also audio video recording in total 12 stories, community participation 54 participants, and there is transcription and translation still in progress and going to complete soon. The project achievements that we can highlight is stories from different genres are collected, stories translated into Nepali, Dumi to Nepali and Dumi to English separately, and trying to publish this stories in book form. And as the sample, I increased my effort myself from my side and published one storybook, which is tiny, not that much big size. Let me share the cover of that story. This is the recent publication that I did as the byproduct of my Ready to Revitalize workshop. Hopefully you can see this, you all. This story in the topic of when going to sell ghee in the neighboring market. In this market, I used to go to sell ghee with my father long time ago. It's near about 5 decades ago. Yeah. The consequence of this Ready to Revitalize workshop, what is next? My aim, my plan is extension of Ready to Revitalize program in other areas, other Dumi areas, and also neighboring Kirati languages and some other indigenous languages of Nepal. Then publish the history collection in bilingual form, Dumi Nepali, through the national publisher, whatever, maybe also from our Dumi organization, and Dumi English international publisher, archiving the digitized stories, upgrade and uplift the publicity of the individual stories globally through digital form. Now, language revitalization help a lot for Dumi community, for the well-being of the Dumi language and culture, so that it protects linguistic identity and culture pride of Dumi community at all. Preserve indigenous knowledge like handloom, local food production, useful tools in daily lives, etc. And it also strengthens the community unity and support future generations. Likewise, for the linguistic preservation, cultural identity, indigenous knowledge systems, community dignity, intergenerational continuity among Dumi people, and attempt to preserve the decline of Dumi language so that it stops shifting towards Nepali. It is universally believed that the language is the foundation of ethnic identity. So to carry out the revitalization project, there is focused in the preservation of oral tradition in Dumi, rituals and ceremonial expressions, kinship systems, daily life systems, social behaves in Dumi ancestral homeland, song, myths and folklores, indigenous worldwide and values, etc. For the safeguarding of these social phenomena in Dumi society, the heritage language is most important. And without the proper utilization of mother tongue Dumi, many aspects of Dumi cultural heritage risk disappearing. So heritage language like Dumi carries rich traditional knowledge related to ethnobotany and medicinal plants, agriculture and ecology, spiritual and ritual practices that still existing in Dumi community. This indigenous concept cannot be fully expressed into dominant language like Nepali or English. In this sense, revitalization therefore protect unique indigenous knowledge system in Dumi. One of the most urgent goals of revitalization in Dumi can be considered as encouraging children and youth to speak their mother tongue at home, learn from elders in daily use, participate in cultural practices. When younger generation stop speaking language, cultural continuity weakens rapidly in daily practice. For historically marginalized communities, language revitalization can become an act of cultural resilience and self-determination. The universal fact is that mother tongue-based education improves the early learning outcomes in skills, comprehension and participations, emotional connection to schooling for the kids. This, together with the implementation of this revitalization project, developing Dumi learning materials, premiers, and storybooks, which supports inclusive and cultural responsive education in context of multilingual education. Dumi is part of Kirati branch of Tibeto-Burman family that I've already mentioned, and linguistically valuable because of its oral literature, unique grammatical structure, historical significance. This revitalization project supports further linguistic research and documentation for future generations. Every endangered language represents a unique way of understanding the world, so as in Dumi, and is revitalizing Dumi contributes to global cultural diversity, indigenous rights movements, the goals of the UNESCO International Decade of Indigenous Languages. In conclusion, we can say the Dumi language is an endangered. However, the community is committed to revitalize their language through the common organization, Dumi Kirat Rai Sikkim, DKRF. In this regard, we Dumi people believe that Dumi language revitalization is not simply about saving the words or grammar in Dumi, but it is also about sustaining a living cultural system, protecting traditional knowledge, and ensuring that future generation of Dumi people can continue to express their identity, history, and worldview through their mother tongue, Dumi. With the community involvement, cooperation with the local governments, involvement of senior citizens, youth participations, institutional support, sustainable revitalization efforts, and collaboration with the stakeholders. So there is hope for the progress in the future of Dumi language. And let me acknowledge some certain points here. Ultimately, for the success of the Dumi language revitalization project, I am grateful to the entire ELP team, especially the director Anna and Amanda for the administrative thorough support for this talk and the inspiring mentors for the community-based Ready to Revitalize online program. The enthusiastic Dumi community represented by various reasons for their active participations for the well-being of their mother tongue Dumi. More than my right hand, the Dumi organization DKRF and the executive board members for the rigorous contribution to carry out the Ready to Revitalize workshop in different locations. Dumi community guardians, senior Dumi people as their pathfinder, young circle as the community backbone, and the children as the future of the society. These who are native speakers from different Dumi communities. Last but not the least, it was fortunate that through the Ready to Revitalize Project 2025, we could connect and were introduced virtually. More than that, we learned and shared our work experience, feelings, methods, ideas, challenges together with the solutions and outcomes on 20 different languages around the globe. Joining ELP's network in a friendly environment to talk and interact with the motivating mentors throughout the sessions, learned many more things from the ELP's resource library, participated in online sessions and received ideas through this gathering in small groups and as a whole group as well. Connect virtually with people from various language groups from different backgrounds and disciplines. For this all, Kevalanu, thank you very much. Anna, over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Netra, for sharing about this beautiful project and everything that you and the Dumi community have done together in support of your language and culture and all of these stories that you've all gathered. I think we have some time for questions. So if anybody in the chat or in attendance today has questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat or unmute yourself. And while we're waiting for questions to come in, Netra, do you have any photos of the Dumi community you would like to share while we wait?
Sure, yeah.
Got some wonderful comments in the chat. Good job. Thank you. Brilliant. Well done for sharing all your work so clearly. And it's amazing to see everything you are involved with. Yes, indeed. All right. Netra, are you able to share? I think you had a wonderful photo that you showed me earlier. Are you able to share that one?
I'm sharing here. Can you see there?
No, you don't see it.
Okay, then let me try once again. I thought that is no.
There we go. Oh, wow.
This is the photo that I had taken in 2001. That is 25 years ago. At that time, all the houses were thatched with the grass. This is recent picture, photo. This is our traditional drums and the tail of the Himalayan cow. Can you see the big photo there?
Yes. Now we see a fire.
Yes, this is related to the culture. It is the symbol of the ancestor. Let me go back. This is the program through our organization in the urban area, another urban area in the eastern part of Nepal that is called Ran. This is my village. And this is the orthography workshop in 2022. It was long before. This is my childhood. And these clothes we used to loom ourselves at home. This map I tried to guess from the Google of Dumi homeland. And this is our traditional home.
Oh. Can you tell us about this structure on the right?
I beg pardon?
Can you tell us more about this structure on the right? This three poles?
Yes. Normally in the village, this is a way of storing the grains or cereals. It's environment friendly. If we keep it like this, then it's safe from any animals or uh, mostly from the environment. If we keep this way outside, it is safe, and even for the seed, it's nice to put outside the house. And in each house, they uh, put their grains outside their house so that there would be sufficient place inside the house. And when they need, then only they take out from this structure little by little. Mostly they uh, build this structure in autumn season and then take out in spring season. And each Dumi house, they put their maize outside their house. This in Dumi we call also Tangra. Tangra. This pole depends upon the quantity of the maize, bonds of the maize. If there are lots, then we add the poles further. This is the appropriate brief description about this Tangra in Dumi society. And this traditional house thatched by the grass. And this bit up, step up, just to make it uh, safe from the animals or also from cold ground, wet ground. Normally, they raise up this level of the house.
Oh, thank you. We have a question actually from Amanda. She wasn't able to type it in the chat, but she wanted to know, are they
Okay.
still growing those crops or is this an older photo?
Yeah.
Do people still grow that same kind of grain?
Yes. My photo, it's visible there.
Yes.
Mhm. So you are asking something at last, yeah?
Yes. We also have another question about the story workshop. So
Mm.
actually, the question is, how did you come up with this idea of using childhood experiences and how did that go? It's very interesting, the idea of using childhood memories for doing an activity that is highly stressful, writing in your mother tongue, which people didn't know how to do. Did writing about their childhood help to make the folks who participated feel more comfortable and less anxious? What was their feedback about that? And I will paste that in the chat. It's a long question.
Oh, yeah, about the idea regarding this writing, the expression, ideas, experience about the childhood is normally I maintain my diary, daily writing, and I have lots the events or the incidents that happened in my childhood. From the very beginning, I try to write down. I have piled up lots the things. Then sometimes when I get free time, I scroll that, I check, I see that, I read that, and I inspired myself. And then I was very much interested to see some organizations or some stakeholders to uh, uh, uplift my experience in writing that and publishing through some agencies or organizations. In this regard, I met some organizations in Nepal, NGOs, and even ultimately I could join SL International Nepal as the language development specialist. So in this regard, my childhood experience, I impressed myself to expose, to share with others so that others, they also get idea to share their childhood experience through this sample story, so that I have lots of short stories from my childhoods. I've written and even typed in the computer. And then among them, I try to pick up the most impressive one. And sometimes in the workshop, I share with others, and sometimes I try to record it, but I haven't published yet till now. Only the first I published is the When Going to Sell Ghee. This is the first publication on behalf of my birthday, 57th birthday. I published that one, thinking that it might impress to others to write their childhood experience too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Netra. All right, we got a couple more questions. Are there any plans to hold more Dumi storytelling activities soon? And how does this build on Dumi cultural practices of storytelling?
Oh, thank you for this genuine queries. I am very much impressed with this query. Yeah, of course. I do have some plan and program through this Ready to Revitalize program. Uh, I have already talked with the local government. How can we extend this program in individual Dumi societies? Because the Dumi society and the local government also responsible for the well-being of the individual mother tongues, like Dumi. In this regard, as an expert, I can share, I can help them to give these third ideas, methods to share the stories in the micro level, not that much the extensive. In the very beginning, I want to introduce this project in individual societies through this Ready to Revitalize project. And I have already mentioned my backbone, my right hand will be Dumi organization. They have their local level wings, and they are quite curious to participate in such workshops. So I hope it would be fruitful for them too. Thank you.
Wonderful. So glad to hear this program is going to continue and grow. We have another question. Thank you for sharing your work, Dr. Netra. Is it possible to read about the ethnobotanical knowledge? And if so, where?
Yeah, this is also another important part for the indigenous people. There are lots of ethnobotany that we need to focus, that we use in daily life for the healing, for the treatment. We use many more local uh, botany or the plants in different areas. We find them lots and lots, but it's not recognized yet till now, neither by the society nor by the government. They are deadly frequently in the birds of extinction. We damn care about those for the preservation, so that my another focus is through this Revitalize program. I need to focus writing some stories about the healing or the treatment through this medicinal plants, so that ethnobotany is another important part for the indigenous society, not only Dumi, for whole the indigenous society throughout the globe. They need to focus and they need to be aware to preserve them. This is another objective of this Ready to Revitalize program for writing their stories too. Thank you.
Thank you, Netra. All right, we have another question. about sort of the impact. What has the response to your community language work been like in terms of policy towards the Dumi language at the local level and the regional level? Are you noticing it is having an impact?
Obviously, they are quite happy. Through the organization, through Dumi organization, Dumi Kirat Rai Fund Scheme, we have already set a plan and program. Within that plan and program, this type of workshop, Ready to Revitalize, also another milestone. That's why they are quite happy and they are quite eager to start. But it's really challenging where to start and how to end. That is only one my challenge. But I'm confident we need to do, we can do. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Let me just check the Q&A. So a question about the people who participated in the story workshop. Are the people who shared their childhood stories still sharing with each other? And what else did this bring up in the community, like memories or conversations or other things?
Yeah, this is the crucial point. Yes, among the participants, there were altogether 54 selected participants. Among them, some of them were not that much fluent in Dumi. That's why they felt challenged to write down in their Dumi language. But even we tried to support them. We encouraged them to write down whatever they can do and then facilitate them to write down easy way in the template, following the template. So each and every participants, not only one, they try to write down more than one stories, and then we selected. For the first time, we have selected some certain interesting stories, but rest of them, they are trying to write down others too. And I hope in the future, we need to encourage them to write down other stories and other participants as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And I have a question. Selfishly, will we be able to read these stories online anywhere in the future?
Obviously, our mission is to make it worldwide. Stories that we try to publish or try to record is not only for the community; it need to be worldwide. And we, as far as possible, we try to collaborate with some stakeholders or some agencies or organizations. Even there might be some opportunity through ELP too that I think. And I need to focus that side too. And my community are quite eager to do that. Hopefully, we will be successful towards that part too. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have time for one more question. We have a pretty complex question. So, for plant knowledge, do younger generations have this knowledge, or is it just elders? And how are you bringing the generations together around plant and medicinal knowledge as well as language knowledge?
That's very interesting part. Yeah, the first thing to groom them together, to gather from all generations. There are some cultural practice. There are some rituals practices in individual societies where from child to old generation they gather together for the folk song, for the dance, and from any other social activities they gather automatically because the local government, at least they have focus to construct one building for them to gather, to have meeting. In at least in each society now there is building their office and their organizations, the local wings. Through that wings, it's quite easy to gather from child to young to the old generation together for the common purpose like language preservation, cultural preservation, or any social activities like that. Thank you.
Thank you. And before we go, I'm wondering, do you have a copy of your storybook right there with you? And can you hold it
Ob-
up for us to see?
Obviously, yes, we do have lots such stories. This is a hard copy of my tiny story. It's quite a micro story, not that much big. And this total page is yeah, this is total 60-page storage. In this is quite a small size, so that it's quite easy to carry on pocket and somehow to take it out and then There are also some, this is our writing guide for the Dumi language, for writing consistency in Dumi. This is the guidelines that we have published through the organization long time before. So we have done some other parts too, like small stories. These are also some uh, real stories about the childhood. But particularly, I focus this one this time for the common people, those who want to write down. This is for their sample. Seeing and reading this sample story. This is bilingual, Dumi Nepali, and I have already prepared Dumi English version too, and hopefully in the future I will publish that Dumi English also nationally or internationally. I don't know, but there are some other small publications in Dumi that we are trying from our side. Hopefully, these are the appropriate guidelines. Thank you.
Brilliant. And yes, Netra, we would be honored to include those in ELP's resource library so others can look and learn.
Definitely,
Yes.
sure.
Well, I want to offer you congratulations again on all of the incredible work you have been doing with your language and your community. I can speak for all of us, I think, when I say this was really inspiring to see everything that you've done over the last 30 plus years and continue to do going forward. I know all of us are really excited to see what else you are going to continue doing in your good work, Netra. And thank you so much for sharing today with all of us and whoever is going to
Thank you,
watch this
Anna.
recording.
Thank you, Anna, and you all for your patience. Thanks again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Netra, and thank you everyone for being here this evening. We'll send a follow-up email where you can see a link to some of Netra's work as well as upcoming talks in this series. So join us next month on June 15th for a talk by Rene Oswaldo Gonzalez Pizarro, an Ayuk speaker from Mexico who will be sharing about his work to create stickers in Ayuk language. Again, thank you, Netra. This was just brilliant, and we all are sending you lots of good wishes from around the world.
Thank you, you
Take
all.
care.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye-bye.